Happy Friday Coffee.
Happy Friday Coffee.
I'm Susan from the Chamber. Our sponsor is US Bank Today. Thank you for that, and along with Cumulus, and we'll hear more from them later. Just some of the guidelines we have, because we do have folks joining us online, so you should be muted. If you can put questions or comments in the chat, or unmute yourself to introduce yourself, or if you have questions at the end. So we're glad that you're here, and we ask that you don't record anything without permission from the presenter. Introductions around the room.
Michael Dunn, I pastor First Christian Church here in Jefferson City.
Meredith Kruger, with Prospero Spa.
Julie Allen, Board City Council.
Deborah Marshall, Missouri Life Magazine.
E.D. Rotary.
Iowa Pressbury, Hope for PDC.
Leslie Davis, Network Global Room Detail. I'm still a realtor, just with Network Global now.
Okay. Lori Melcher, Amherst, Missouri. I'm Trisha Barnes, I'm with Mid-America Bank.
All right. Okay, Stu, let's hear what's your
Good
deal.
morning. Good morning. Stu Murphy, I'm a Chamber Ambassador.
Jackie Colburn, Chamber Board Ambassador, and I'm the chair of the Small Business Network membership drive that's in full blown, and we want to win. So if you know about membership, send it to me.
Yes, good, Jackie, thank you for that.
Don Kiefer, US Bank.
Michael Love, First Mid Bank and Trust, and Mid-Missouri Referral Alliance.
Stephanie Wayman, CNS Employment Solutions.
Katrina Tinnen, Central Bank and Chamber Ambassador.
Rebecca Brown, Chamber Staff.
Lori Pitts, Chamber Staff. Kara Stark, Downtown Justice.
Ben White, Missouri Main Street Connection.
Jason Vanderpels, PFW Engineering.
Rick Lancaster, Rick Lancaster Council.
Lou Holstein, Jefferson City Regional Economic Partnership.
Darcy Crane, Capital City Board of Appointed Special Advocates. Joe, City Council Board 5.
Ryan Crane, City of Jefferson.
Molly Ryan, City of Jefferson. Diane Gillespie, Jefferson City Convention Visitors Bureau. Ashley Timmons, the Chamber.
And Julie's just back there, she just hit it. You're doing
Come on,
it.
Julie.
Come on, Julie.
Good morning, Dawn Swayze, Downtown Association Board, and also Jefferson City European.
Gary Plummer with the Chamber.
Michael Henderson with Carson House and Government Affairs.
Glenn Bond. I have so many titles, I'm just gonna give a couple. President of AWACP and on a big ball of town with
G.S. Shoemaker, Downtown Jeff City Board.
Cameron Gerber with the News Tribune.
Mike Lester, City Council Ward 2.
Okay, we got everybody in the room. Anybody that's online, if you want to unmute yourself and introduce.
Jesse Quatemdia with the Growth Coach of Columbia.
Josh Tattershaw, Primerica Financial Solutions.
Vicki Culpepper, UCP Heartland.
Anybody, how many do we have on? 8, okay. Anybody else before we move on? Okay. All right, I do want to welcome our newest members since we've been together. Aging in Place Store, Anytime Fitness, Ernst Law, Homemakers Plus, Serenity Medical Spa, Stephen Sokoloff, the lady who does taxes, LLC, and Westminster College. Yes?
We have another new member here this morning. Jason, would you introduce yourself and your company again?
Yeah, I'm with BFW Engineering. I just got announced Monday, it goes on social media today. They're stationed out in Paducah, Kentucky, but we're in like 6 different states. And I'm opening the 14th office here in Jefferson City to go out on social media today.
Good deal.
And by the way, that office is right upstairs.
It's right upstairs.
So is the lady who does taxes. She's also yeah, she's a neighbor. I told him, I said, you didn't have a long commute, so that was right on time. So good, good. I'm gonna hear from the sponsor now, US Bank. Don, you wanna come on up? You wanna come on up here?
Yeah. It's kind of awkward just doing this, but I'm Don Kiefer, I'm with US Bank. I'm the Business Banking Relationship Manager. Say a couple things about the bank. We've got a great town of banks. I mean, we really do. I mean, we've got local banks, we've got, some regional sized banks, we have some larger banks.
we understand that relationships are important, and that's key for us, and it's key for any bank. Correct. And so what I want to make a point of is that I moved here 3 years ago from Columbia, and everybody in Columbia is sitting there saying, why Jeff City? Those people are mean. I have to say, I have embraced Jeff City. The people in Jeff City have been just wonderful to me. I met my lovely wife here, and so, I'm all in on this town, as Mr. Plummer could probably tell you that, I do a lot, what I can here. But the main thing about the bank is, we understand you have banking relationships. We don't want to take those. We have what we do very well. Of course, we want relationships, but there's things that we can do. And, it's always good to have a second opinion. It's always good to have, a competitor that can give you an analysis. So that's all I wanted to say about the bank. And so if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer after.
Okay. Well, we have a door prize. Does anybody have any questions? Right. We have a door prize. Want to tell them what you're giving away?
Yeah,
try you have it up there.
I've got a couple cool things actually. So we'll start with prize number 3. So this is a nice little desktop speaker, Bluetooth, pretty neat. And then I was able to secure 4 tickets to the Alabama-Mizzou game on October 11th. So I think the best way to do it is I'm going to give away 2.
Okay.
2 each, so 3 total prizes.
Okay, so the tickets, you're gonna split the tickets. All right, you're running the show, so you can. Yeah.
The speaker first.
Speaker first.
All right, and the speaker goes to Jason Vanderbilt.
I'm getting a logo in the back.
Okay.
There we go. Got it, good. Were your eyes closed? Okay.
And for the first set of tickets to the Mizzou game, Stephanie Lehman.
Okay. Just hold that, that's like a ticket. All right, good.
Here's the last one. Grab the business card this time.
That's forever gonna be.
Julie Allen.
Let me know if you can't use that ticket. If you happen to have nobody to go with you.
Yeah.
Okay, got it, good.
Absolutely.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, move on. Other sponsor that we have that helps do this is Cumulus, and Rochelle or anybody from Cumulus is not here, but she would tell you that if you are a sponsor, you not only get the promotion in this room and in advance, that she'll actually have some commercials for you on Cumulus Radio. So she's going to get together with Don and you guys can come up with a fefew announcements that you want to make. So Lori, we haven't started selling our sponsorships for 26 yet, but we will announce those. So if you're interested in a Friday Coffee sponsor, keep that in mind, because when we announce it, they usually go quick. So happy to have you as a sponsor. Thank you, US Bank, and to Cumulus too. I'm going to go through the quick announcements. Just a quick thank you to everybody that attended, and congratulations from our Yacht Rock Gala, which was last week. As you can see, we had a lot of fun. But we also made some very important recognitions with our Scrubs Award. That's Shane Campeter there, and then in the middle slide there, that's Clyde Lear, the Quig Award, and on the right, Bob Gilbert, the Not Civic Award. So we had a great time. I appreciate everybody that was there, or the sponsors. Most importantly, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to celebrate our community and those folks that make it so great. So thanks for your support on that. Lori, I'm gonna let you.
Oh, yes. Women Connect has a great luncheon coming up on October 8th. We are going to have some panelists there. You can see some doctors come in, and they're going to talk to us about women's health. And you can see right there also some topics that we're going to discuss is self-care, screening for women, women's cardiovascular health, navigating hormone health. That will be from 11 to 1 over at Missouri Soybean. Registration is open. You can go to the website, the chamber website, or you can email me and I can help you get registered.
That was, and Darcy, I could have called on you for that too, maybe you guys had that planned, I'm sorry if I. All right, the Business Summit, that's coming up, and most importantly, right now, we are taking nominations for two other very important awards, the Small Business of the Year and the Exceptional Employee Award. So you'll find, you'll get emails, or you can go to our website and find, you have until the 26th of September to make those nominations. Oh, I'm ahead of myself on the slide. This slide is about the nominations specifically, and as I said, the award nominations, the 26th, but we will present those at the Business Summit and Award Ceremony. And so that is where we present the Small Business of the Year, Exceptional Employee, and the Pitch It to Win It. So that event is November 6th in Capitol Bluffs, and I hope that you participate in that. Speaking of that, the Pitch It and Win It, Ashley?
Yes, if you or someone you may know are a newly established business or have a business idea, you need to tell them to apply or register for the Pitch It and Win It for a chance to win $5,000. The winner will be announced at the Business Summit, like Susan said, and this event is sponsored by RMI. So the flyers are out in the lobby. You can scan the QR code. You can also access this on our website as well.
Very exciting. That's a great day, all about business. Tricia is one of our co-sponsors for the Business Summit, along with Kevin from Jefferson Bank. So it's a great way to celebrate business in new. Did you have a question? Is this for profit businesses only? Ashley, do you want to answer that?
It is
Nonprofits? Is it for nonprofits only?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're new now.
Okay. Very good. Exciting. Good. Okay, and Gary, you're going to speak to this.
Yeah, travel is something that this chamber did years ago, and we've taken a few years off. But we are working with a local travel agency, Classic Travel, and also a national firm that they partner with on a regular basis called Colette Travel. And one of their most popular destinations every year is Ireland. And so we're really tickled to be a part of this. We're partnering with them on that. A portion of the proceeds go to the chamber, but very competitively priced trip. And there's more information in the flyer out in the lobby. I hope you will look into that. We'd love to have you join us. We have not opened this trip up to the general public yet. We only have about 30 seats to fill. So if you have an interest in this, go to the folks at Classic Travel. There's an email up there, and we can provide that with for you as well on the flyer out front. I do have another announcement.
Okay.
While I have the floor. And that is a very familiar and friendly face that we've been used to seeing here at Friday Coffee for a couple of years. Cameron Gerber from the News Tribune. I believe today is his last day.
It surely is.
News Tribune. And he's going to go to work for the Division of Tourism, the state of Missouri.
Hey, Susan?
Yes.
Real quick, Gary, I think that we actually have less than 30. I know that there's been lots of talk about some people, they just need to get on and register, but we do have, so I think it's gonna be less than 30 spots still.
All right.
We'll find out about that quickly. All right, now it's time for the city update. Ryan, did you get that?
Yeah, thank you. You know, we're busy with a lot of projects. If you drive by the old state penitentiary, you'll see the river market coming up out of the ground. I think pretty much the steel's all erected, so you'll be able to see kind of where it is and the size of it. So that's exciting. We're continuing to see progress at the state of Missouri site at Old Health Lab, or the new Health Lab. And we're continuing to work on other projects out there, so that's an exciting time for MSP. We're working up there at Capitol Avenue. Just about every property that the city owned is now in private developers' hands. So hopefully you'll start seeing a lot of activity along Capitol Avenue with some new developments. I think we have one small lot behind Ivy Terrace that's still in our possession, but we expect to be and then if you go across the river, the airport control tower is starting to show a lot of progress. I think all the foundations are in. And then our sewer plant's actually going through a major upgrade as well. So there's a lot of activity on the north side of the river We're in the middle of our budget season, so it's really busy right now. The mayor's delivered a balanced budget to the council, and the council is reviewing that and making some determinations on next year's budget as well. You'll see a lot of street maintenance work going on right now. Higgins Asphalt's all over town doing our annual overlay project, so you're gonna see a lot of activity over the next few weeks as they try to wrap up their work. Anything else? Any other big projects? If you drive by Wildwood, you'll see that extension going in. That's a cooperative project between the city and the county. So we're excited to see that, and there's a lot of housing developments going on all over town that we've talked about in previous meetings. So we're excited about all the activity that's going on and all the investment in our community.
Any questions for? Good. Well, with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our program for today. Cara Stark, Downtown Association President, and then she has Ben White here with Missouri Main Street. So Cara, I'm gonna let you kick it off and then you can introduce Ben.
Hi guys, like Susan said, my name's Cara Stark. So we are going to talk a little bit about the Downtown Association so that I can pass it off to Ben, who's actually the facilitator from Missouri Main Street for a grant that we were recently awarded. So in order for you to kind of understand why we chose to pursue this grant and why it's going to be important to the downtown, I thought I would do a really brief version of a presentation that we created for the site visit in our application process for the grant. So we'll jump into that. Downtown Jeff City. A little bit about the organization. So we were established in 1987. We operate as a nonprofit entity. We have a lot of collaborative efforts with the city, local businesses and community organizations. We work to have strategic partnerships so that our efforts can be amplified. And we have a lot of volunteers to participate in our events. It's a very brief overview. A little bit about our district. It's always bigger than people think. So I think when we say the Downtown Association, people think, well, it's the 4 blocks downtown, and then it goes a little bit this way. But it actually is from Highway 54 to Lafayette Street, and then the Missouri River to Highway 50. So a very large district. When you guys toured it, we took the trolley all the way around, you know. So there's about 350 businesses in there, and one of the main reasons I saw the need to pursue the grant was how do we best serve this entire district? I think we do a really good job, or try to do a really good job, of serving the main core of downtown, what we call it, those couple blocks of High Street and Madison, as well as like this area down here. But how do we continue serving that large core has been a big question that we've had over the last little bit. An important part about our district is that we're the focal point for city tourism, or one of the focal points for city tourism, right? We've got the Capitol, the Supreme Court, the prison is right outside of our district, right on the other side, but we consider it to be really adjacent to downtown. And then another important part of our district is that we have an influx of 5,000 people that come into it every day, right? We have this huge state employee population that comes in all the time. So we're a supporter-driven organization. This number, 88 supporters, was current as of like April. We actually have over 100 supporters now, with quite a few of them returning that were not previously members, but last year, but then came back, and so that's been a really exciting thing to see. I think some of that is because we've tried to expand some of our event offerings. So you guys are familiar with some of the events that we do. Living Windows every year is a pretty big one that's recognizable in Jeff City. Thursday Night Live was an event we did for a very long time. We took a brief break this year to focus on the bicentennial, and we'll be focusing on how to restructure that event in the future. We do the Sip and Shop twice a year. I'm kidding. And then we do Brunch Bash, which is a new one this year. That was twice monthly Sunday brunches with the idea of drawing more people to the downtown to kind of fill that brunch void that we saw with the absence of Sunday restaurants, right? Then we have some collaborative events. So another focus we've had is, you know, how do we help facilitate more events downtown without being the primary organizer, given that we're a volunteer-driven organization. So we've tried to bring the Capitol, we did bring the Capitol Car Cruise
ban from March to September, and that takes place on Capitol now, so we're not shutting down any of our businesses for that event to take place. But we get to have more people downtown, and then we create an event called Jeff Jam that leads into that. So it's a music event through the afternoon that leads into the Capitol Car Cruise. We try to partner with the parades, we partner with Salute to America by sponsoring them, downtown trick or treat. Lots of collaborative events like that are taking place. And then one of our main roles we really see is marketing and promotion of the downtown community. So in an effort to do that, we have hired a firm that helps us organize better communications to make a really cohesive communication strategy. They also helped us implement a text club, so if you're not a part of it, go to our website and sign up, and it sends a couple texts a month about all the things that are happening in the downtown, both our events and then everybody else's as well. So to promote the downtown is one of the things that we really view as an important part of our mission. So to go into why we decided to do Main Street, there's been varying degrees of interest in Main Street for over 10 years in Jefferson City. So as part of the Historic Preservation Commission plan that was developed several years ago, they said that the goal was to, that an objective was to create a Main Street program for Jefferson City. In early 2023, we did a survey that we conducted to establish a new mission for downtown. Because when I came on as president, we really didn't, well, our mission was basically, let's keep going and do the things we've done, but it wasn't really a formalized mission. And I'm a person that's very mission driven, so I felt like we needed to have one. So we did a survey and we got about over 400 responses that we used to have a strategic planning retreat and establish a mission and objectives. After that, we established a financial plan based on those mission and objectives. And then following that, we made the decision to pursue the Main Street Community Empowerment Grant, which would really help us create a strategic plan for the future, but also identify long-term funding solutions that could help us accomplish some of the goals that we have. So the mission that we came up with is to promote, enhance, and advocate for a thriving downtown community. This is an important thing to note, I think, because prior to us doing this work with the survey and everything like that, I think our identity was really rooted in being a business association. And while we as an organization do represent the businesses within our district, the shift with this mission is that we really view ourselves more as kind of a community district organization that works to promote the entire downtown community. So we work to bring people downtown, we work to support the businesses, we work to promote our district, but not necessarily just to serve the businesses, but to serve the community as a whole. So a little bit of a shift in thinking with this mission that was important to some of the choices we've made, including pursuing Main Street. So the objectives are to promote, obviously, commerce, community, culture. We do that through our events, we do that through our marketing and communication, we do that through our partnerships. We like to advocate for the downtown community. So we do that through driving awareness and engagement of different opportunities in downtown, and then also through trying to participate in city, what are they called? Task forces, there we go. We sat on a couple task forces and worked to collaborate with the new parking municipal operator and things where we can really represent downtown interests and in the community has been important to us. And then we also work to enhance the downtown. This is a huge part of our mission, and one of the things that our surveys really indicated people wanted us to continue. That's making sure that the downtown environment and functionality continues to improve. So that's through beautification. We do a lot of we work with the city and partner with them to do a lot of snow removal, landscaping, cleanliness, working on public art downtown, and then also doing the Christmas lights. So if you've seen a big thing downtown, it's because we're finally wrapping up the exchange into new Christmas lights, which has been a really big project for us. All right. So why now? Why are we pursuing this now? We'll look into our brief look into our strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities. Some of our strengths obviously are the visual appeal of downtown. We obviously have an engaged and supportive community. People love the downtown. I think people view it as the heart of downtown. We have regular events that drive food traffic, retail traffic, community involvement, and then we're obviously the capital city. So we're drawing thousands of people downtown every day. Some of the weaknesses that we identified that we need to really work on through the Main Street process are some of our aging and deteriorating buildings that are requiring enforcement or collaboration to, improve those situations. We have a number of vacant properties, although we do have less vacant properties than we did in April. A big thing that happened since the last couple leases took place on High Street is that on the 100th and 200th block of High Street, for all available street properties that are available, that we're at 100% capacity for all available rented street properties. So there are some that aren't available for rent, there are some that are available for purchase. But we're at 100% capacity, so that's a really big deal, because this time last year, I think we had 7 or so empty retail spaces. So those have been filled, which has been a really big goal of ours. But we still do have and see, some vacant properties that need to be worked on, that the city's working on, that we'd like to work on with them. And then another weakness of ours is that we've identified is a lack of sustainable revenue. So how do we work to accomplish some of these goals that we've identified are necessary through our mission, and support long-term initiatives? What source of funding is best for that? Which is a huge part of the community empowerment grant, and one of the reasons we're pursuing it. And then we also see that downtown right now is at a really good moment of opportunity, right? We have lots of nonprofits and cultural attractions we can collaborate with, the historic city of Jefferson, the state of Missouri. We see the River Market development, the penitentiary, the small business development center at Lincoln. We see that the downtown conference center development is going to be enhancing tourism in our district. And then another opportunity that we think there is expanded branding initiatives, so public art installations and comprehensive wayfinding strategies. These are all things we'd like to capitalize on. We believe that we're at a pivotal moment for downtown Jeff City with the transformative opportunity of the conference center. We think that our organization is at a really good point to be able to capitalize on this grant. We've done a lot of internal reflection over the last couple of years with our surveys and our strategic, retreats that we've been working on, our financial plans. So we have a highly engaged board of directors that really wants to move forward with implementing strategic plans. And then we're poised for progress with support from the Main Street program. We can kind of maximize this moment and hopefully continue to shape the future of downtown. So that's the presentation we gave to Missouri Main Street to say, please pick us. And then they did.
And then we did.
Yeah, which is great. So I will let Ed jump into kind of what the grant looks like, and then I think we're happy to take any questions. And I have some board members here, so if there's anything I left out during the question part, please jump up, and I tend to ramble. There we go.
Perfect. So at first I thought we'd talk a little bit about why Main Street, what is Main Street, and why they decided they wanted to pursue this opportunity. And so I'll introduce myself first. I've been White, the Senior Program Specialist for Missouri Main Street Connection. So my school background was actually went to Southeast Missouri State down in Cape Girardeau before moving up to Chillicothe to be part of their Main Street program, which is an accredited Main Street program, 1 of 9 in the state of Missouri. And so I bring a lot of that experience, that expertise as part of being part of that program into this position. So here's a little bit about just what the Main Street approach is and why now was the time that they wanted to pursue these various opportunities. So first, Main Street is an organization that really started in 1980 out of a need for revitalization of downtowns in small towns and mid-sized towns and in large towns, because all of these businesses were moving out of our downtown core. It was the cool thing in economic development to move out to the edges of the community, out towards the highways and all of these different places that weren't the downtown core. And so we were losing that vibrancy, losing our history in our downtown. And so out of that, the National Main Street Center was born. So I work for what's called a coordinating program. So it is my job to come in and to look at the surveys, to talk to people at the various input sessions, to give our recommendations and on what's the future of the downtown area. And so I come in and give my expertise, my experience, our resources to help guide local Main Street organizations on the direction that the downtown needs to go. So we're a methodology, so we focus on, everything we do is focused on economic development of those historic cores of communities. We're a network that connects communities through our various trainings and opportunities to network with people across the state. we're a brand, so we have a registered trademark, but then probably this last one is one of the reasons that I really like Main Street so much, is that it's an advocacy effort. It's not me necessarily coming in and giving my recommendations to you all based off of what I think you need to do. It is listening to you all and saying, this is your downtown, this is your community. I've heard tell you my introduction. I actually live in Fulton, so I am down here all the time, but it is still not my job to say, this is the future of your downtown. It is to listen to you and to give my recommendations on that. And then for the people in this community to help make that happen. So we are actually in 180 communities across the state. We actually have designated programs in 60 of those communities. And so when they were looking at this new Main Street approach back in 1980, what they determined after looking at a couple of communities that still had some vibrancy in their downtown is that they were using this 4-point Main Street approach to economic vitality and economic development. And so the first one is organization, which is all focused on trying to bring partners and money and resources to the table to make anything happen in the downtown area. The next one is the design, which is all about that built environment of the downtown. And so here especially, I think you do a great job of doing flowers and providing just that safe place that people want to come downtown and feel welcome coming into the downtown district. That's what design focuses on, is are we providing those beautification efforts and that built environment enhancement. Then we have economic vitality, which is working with business owners, but also strategically recruiting new businesses. Then you have promotion, which is about bringing people to the district, getting people on the sidewalks, getting them into stores, and bringing customers to those businesses. And so all of these efforts are essential in the Main Street approach for comprehensive economic development. Again, this is something that has worked since 1980 and continues to work across the nation. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Community Empowerment Grant, as Cara mentioned. And so this is a grant for services. And so we are coming in and giving our expertise, our time, listening to the community on what is the next direction for downtown. Again, the organization has done some great things through partnerships throughout this time, but really what we heard when we came to the community is that they're looking for what is this next step, and that is with you guys here in this room, and people in this room to help provide your input on what is the next strategic direction that the organization, that the downtown needs to go. And so throughout this process, that's what we're going to be providing. So we actually follow this template that all Main Street organizations actually follow to get that vision for downtown, to get some market understanding, to be able to recommend strategies for you all, and then we dive straight into implementation. What partners need to be at the table? What dollars do we need to go after based off of what the community has actually said that they want for that future? So the first part of the grant is all based on trying to get that input from the community. So we figure out what's that strategic direction that we need to go. So we're not just trying to chase dollars from projects that the community has said isn't really important to them. We try to get that base understanding of where the direction of downtown needs to go. And then it is after that fact that we start to identify strategies. And we start to figure out, okay, what are some different ideas that we can actually develop based off of those themes that we continue to see throughout all those input sessions from the first year of it. And what are the dollars we need to pursue? So these are some of the other things that we, along with those services that I mentioned before, that we provide along with it. So we give a 2-year action plan. It is quite literally 2 years of this is where we're going to go from the first part to the last part of this service grant. Lots of networking opportunities, and we're just there. Throughout this process, we're there as that hand on the shoulder of, okay, now you've reached this step. This is the next logical step for you to be able to go. And so we are right there trying to build up, again, that next direction for the organization and for the downtown. And so this is primarily what my job focuses on, is these communities going through this service grant process. So I wanted to mention too that something that we've really started to push with our communities that are just starting to come into the Main Street program is being able to move up our tier system. So if you think about school districts and hospitals and those kinds of places, they have a tiers that they go up. And so the highest tier is the accredited tier. That means they're high-functioning organizations, they're high-functioning programs, hospitals, schools, those types of things. And so Main Street America, the National Main Street Center, also has a tier system as well that we subscribe to. And so all new organizations that come into our program start out at the lowest tier because we are starting to build that capacity of the organization. And so throughout this program, throughout our journey with our Main Street programs, what we are trying to do is build that capacity of the organization so they can continue to go up that tier system that National Main Street has set aside. Because what we have found is that those that continue to move up, that means they're a stronger organization. There's a stronger downtown. The economy of downtown is that much stronger because of it. And so what we do throughout that time is guide organizations through that, to be able to hire an executive director once we get to that point to help manage the organization itself. So it's not just volunteers trying to do it, there's a director that's helping to guide those efforts. And so that timeline actually lasts usually between 4 to 6 years, where we go from new Main Street organization just started to affiliated with us to up into the accredited category. So that's what we're going to start to work with because we feel, especially here, that there's such a high capacity for a strong downtown organization. You already have a pretty strong downtown economic engine in your downtown area, and so we're going to be figuring out, okay, what are those next steps? What's the future of downtown look like now that we're to this point? And so I'm excited to get started with this process. I don't come in maybe pretending like I know any of the answers to what you feel is the downtown's next move. So I'm excited to do that here before the end of the year, to come in with a town hall and just ask your opinion on what's the future of downtown, because that allows me to get to work and figure out, okay, this is the next direction. We've heard this over and over again. And so to be able to formulate those thoughts, formulate those ideas based off of that input that I hear from you all. That's all I have. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, that's it.
You have the one slide that had the dollar amounts that kind of looked over that.
Oh, yeah, so this is.
This is back.
So this is a service grant that we offer, and so it is a 70-30 service grant. In that, yes, I think it was at probably right that one. So we provide 70% of that 70-30 matching portion grant, and the services that we provide and the travel, the time that we put into this. I told you that this is primarily my job, is to work with organizations that are going through this program. And 30% of it is contributed by the local organization or community towards this service grant here. So throughout that time of this 2-year process, it is about $45,000 worth of services that we're providing through this comprehensive, this planning process that we're taking through this over these next 2 years. Again, 70% provided by us and 30% provided by the organization.
So as part of the investment that we made into the program, then when we signed the agreement, we sent off our check for $13,233, which was a financial decision that we had considered when establishing the financial plan a couple of years ago.
So what is your knowledge or understanding of, you talked about a town hall, and people will give in their what they would like to see happen or what have you. What's your experience with a town hall or knowledge of that, or how do you see that working?
So what we do as part of that town hall is our structure. So when I come in, I tell the community a little bit about Main Street, and so give them that base of this is the Main Street approach. And then we divide out into 4 groups. I mentioned earlier that we have those 4 points of Main Street. So each one of those groups has that focus in that specific point there. And so out of that town hall, there's 20 different goals at each one of these groups, in totality, 20 different goals. So 5 for each one of those 4 groups out of there. So really what that becomes is the base of our discussion on what's going to happen in the downtown area. So to become a really effective foundational input session that we have right off the bat. And so it's a powerful tool for us. Like I said,
date for the town hall early next week.
Okay.
And we hope that it will be in the first week or two of November. We're finalizing it right now.
Okay.
But it'll be a community-wide open invitation, so everyone who is invited. It's not just people in the downtown. Everybody in this community, right, some way affiliates or has some sort of memory or some sort of hope or desire or dream for the downtown. So we're inviting everybody and telling them, please come, provide your input, tell us what you'd like to see. It'll be on a weekday, during the week, in the
Yes,
yes, that's what it is,
yeah.
okay. But one of the first 2 weeks in November, so we'll announce
Thursday,
that.
November 6th, this is.
Yes, not Thursday, November.
Did you know that when I had that?
I've already been told no on that one, so.
It's also for board scrutiny, so we.
Okay.
But yes, so be looking out we'll send out an email, we'll send out a text, and we'll also put it on Facebook the day we announce, so that'll be next week.
Will there be an option for people to provide written input?
Yeah, actually, so we have our town hall, but then we follow that up with a community survey, realizing that, yeah, sometimes you may not be able to get out for that night. Give opportunities about over a month.
Great if you made a concerted effort to bring some Lincoln students into the conversation, because they would be great to see more of them downtown and maybe the younger professionals too, but just to make sure you do bring them into the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something we've already talked about too, because they're such an asset to the community, and so it would be a lost opportunity not to involve them in some way. So I completely agree with you.
Ben, could you address the benefit for a community to have a strong downtown and why that is so valuable?
Oh man, what a question.
He didn't set me up for that.
Yeah, so I always see downtown as the heartbeat of the community. It's what makes you different and unique. And so there is no other downtown like you. And so as the downtown economy goes in many communities, so goes the economy of the rest of the community as well. And so to give a strong downtown core, that's important. And what I've also found in a lot of communities is that, especially now, when large companies are looking to locate to your community, they look for that quality of life within the community. And maybe that starts or be at least part of the discussion is the downtown area. And so they want to see, are there things for our workers to do? What is there quality of life efforts that can bring people from out of town and they're going to feel like they're going to plant roots in this community and stay with their company for a long time because there are things to do. And so it becomes a selling point not only to the community or to surrounding communities, but also to larger industries that are looking to locate in the communities if you have that strong downtown core.
Right.
Oh,
Sorry. Go ahead, Frank.
I have a question for Mr. White. In any of the communities you work with, do they have problems with homeless people hanging out downtown and how they dealt with this or how they dealt with it?
We've had it in some of our communities. Actually, that is a discussion that we're starting to have right now because we have some larger communities where that's a problem. Just kind of getting back just a little bit, we have smaller communities. We actually work in Indiana, Missouri, which is 600 people, all the way up to some of our largest ones are St. Joseph, where we see some of that homeless problem. Lee's Summit, some of that homeless problem. We work in some urban districts in St. Louis, where we're starting to have this discussion. Many times it's a partnership with the city. And I will say that National Main Street has really started to look at this, I don't want to say problem, but this kind of issue to figure out what's the solution to it and trying to figure out what that solution is, because it's, in my opinion, it's such a multifaceted solution that I'm not sure necessarily, and it's different for every community. And so every community is still trying to figure out what that looks like. And so that is an active conversation that we're having in our Main Street programs in our districts.
And I'll follow up and say that it's a conversation the downtown's already been involved in. So under our mission, we say that one of our main things is advocacy, and that involves serving on committees and task forces and things like that. So we've been lucky to be able to represent
the downtown on the city task force for homelessness and are currently engaged in conversations with what recommendations we would make to, ensure that downtown can be a thriving place for everybody, and how to address some of those issues. So it's a conversation while we're participating.
What is one of the small communities where you would say is one of your model downtown communities where you think would be a testimonial to?
You're trying to pick a favorite child.
Well, we don't have apples, but.
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier that we work in very small communities up to larger communities. And so I think some of my favorite communities are those ones that they do a lot with a little, or they do a lot with the partners that they have in the community. I just came from Northwest Missouri working up there this week. Probably one of my favorite communities up there is Albany, Missouri, town 1,200 people. But what they do is they utilize the people and the businesses and the partners in their community to go so beyond what their needs and their capacity should be based off of that. And so it's those communities that I feel the strongest connection to, because they don't look at the size of their community and see it as a detriment. They see they have the people and the partners in those entities in the community to make something happen in the downtown. They just figure out a way to get it done, as opposed to looking again at their size of their community and seeing that as a detriment. So those are my favorites.
One question.
Yeah.
How does the chamber, because we do all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so how does the chamber articulate itself in the context of, because resources that the chamber provides and so forth, how is there's an area at some point in those small communities, if they have chambers?
Yeah, some small communities don't have chambers, so they just have Main Street programs because there's this comprehensive approach to it, so they decide to go that way. Sometimes there are chambers, kind of depends with it. And so, kind of getting into your question too, chambers and Main Street programs are strong partners in the communities that we work with that are most successful, because they have similar missions. They all want a better community through business development and bringing those kinds of resources in. And so those communities that have both entities that work together well are stronger for it. But yeah, I'll let you answer your question.
And we've been really lucky to have the chamber as an important partner in the downtown for, over a decade. Susan's FNS official member of our board for a long time, provides a lot of really knowledgeable support, so yeah, we're lucky for that.
Different.
I don't live here. I live in Fayette, and even though you didn't pick Fayette as one of your favorites, maybe
read the room.
You started a program, my gosh, I don't know, what's been 8, 9 years maybe?
Yeah, it predates me starting with the state organization 6 years ago.
100% hands down, our community is night and day. And I was so thankful when Main Street came to Fayette, and they just kind of opened the minds of our community to say, here are the things that we see and the reasons why you're not being successful. And they actually listened, and which was great, because it's hard. It's hard to take a look at, and you can see the benefit and the efforts. I'm on the board, on the Main Street board, and it's just been an amazing adventure, and just really the investment in the community and everything that has come together has been amazing. And I would highly, highly recommend your community just jumping on board as fast as you can. Because the difference in our major problem was housing. Our housing was falling apart. We had no place, because we have a college there, we had no place for people to stay and to buy, to live in. You can see the efforts in the last probably 3 years. I just drive around and I'm like, oh my God. And we got rid of that mess over here, this beautiful house. We work with our Rotary people, we work with our chamber, we all work together, and one of the best things is the design committee just absolutely changed the look. And of course, Central built a whole building on our square, which really has kind of changed everything, put a big investment in. But testimonials 100%, and just one of the best things our community's ever done.
It's such rewarding work. Like I said, I work at the local level, I can see those projects and those changes in real time. And now in my work, I can see that working with communities that are just starting off in their Main Street journey where they've taken that along the way. Because there's such a network of people and organizations behind you trying to make sure that you're successful and bringing those resources in, that it really pays dividends immediately and over time using this approach.
Thank you, Ben, and thanks for the great comments
Thanks for
and
the
questions.
questions.
Thank you very much. We want to do member announcements, so does anybody in the room here have an announcement they'd like to make about their business or organization, volunteer thing they're involved in? Darcy?
I have two quick ones. So September is the last month for Capital City Council to be one of the charities in the Target Circle Charitable Campaign, Giving Campaign. So if you have points or votes, is what they call it. If you'd like to share with us, we'd love that. By September 30th. And then next Monday at Tech Stroke House, if you want to go there, the whole time they're open 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you give them a flyer or just mention us, they will do 10% of your food order. So just let's thank you.
Rick Lancaster Counseling. Soon on Mondays at 7 p.m., I want to start a group called Changing Negatives into Positives. It's a cognitive behavioral group. I did it for 14 years plus at the prison. It just brings out character and community amongst a variety of different cultures in the prison. And I really am hoping to get it going in the community. Seems like the community is a little afraid of groups, but it's $25 a session, it's real therapy, and so it's affordable, and hopefully they'll be there. I think I've got 4 people interested right now. Thank you.
Just,
Go right ahead.
thanks. Just want to put something else. I know I said I was the president, but I'm the president of the Jefferson City branch, not the state. So Nimrod Chapter is the state president, and Derek Johnson is the CEO, president of the national NAACP. This event is very important to us. It's funded for our organization and advancement of civil rights. So if you have any questions, I got my phone number on there. We got different levels of sponsorship. Tickets are $75, and the event is at Live Bottom, October 15th. Thank you.
Right now in mortgage, we're running a special with school kicking off. We are operating a free appraisal on any purchase. The school teachers are any school employees, regardless of what area they work. We're offering a free appraisal right now on that through the end of October. We're under contract for the end of October. So we have reached out to any teachers or school employees that want to.
Well, 1, 2, go ahead. Robert?
So just to say how much we're really enjoying our eSchool partnership in education. We just had a block party. We had about 700 folks that came out from that community. And just to be involved in that from the standpoint of supporting public education, teachers, students, the community, parents, it's just been a really great experience. And I'm just grateful that we've had that opportunity.
I'm looking at your t-shirt right there. Is that
A block party t-shirt.
I know everybody likes to get those t-shirts, the students, the parents. Oh, we'll let Dawn, just go in order. Dawn was.
Yeah, so Jefferson City Room at the Inn is a local temporary overnight homelessness shelter, low barrier that we operate through the winter months of December 1st to mid-March. If you have not heard of us, please follow us on Facebook, Jefferson City Room at the Inn. We do have some events coming up in October, open houses, so you can come see the shelter, ask for questions, figure out how to get involved if you're interested in volunteering. And then we'll have some volunteer orientation in November. I'll be ready to kick off for our December 1st season. So if you'd like to talk more about that offline, if you're interested in learning what that's all about and what we do, and especially if you'd like to volunteer.
Okay. One more, I don't know what the word, okay.
Just real quick, don't forget the air show this weekend, along with the career fair that's at Arizona, so much
Rebecca was gonna say one, okay. Yeah, and I'll put a plug in, we have a ribbon cutting today for a new business downtown, Iron Gate Village, but next Thursday, we have a ribbon cutting for the block party, celebrate the 100th birthday of United Way, so I know a lot of people are involved with that. It's gonna be a huge event, so that's next Thursday. You have great block parties, right? Anybody else before we close?
Mary Kruger with Respiro Spa. I was just gonna mention, we are having a 20% off salt scrub massage special, going on through the end of October. So if you're starting to notice that your skin is getting a little bit drier because of the change of season, 20% off through the end of October. You can get more information at our website, www.respirodayspa.com.
And I didn't ask if anybody online, because if you wanted to unmute yourself, I don't know if Okay, now Leslie can go if they want to be next.
I have something totally off topic, but I literally just heard this right before I was coming to this meeting, that they're going to tear down the Lola building and the Lewis and Clark statues on the corner for more parking. Is that true?
I don't think that's been decided yet.
It is.
That's
It's being discussed.
capital complex project.
It is being discussed, though, that those two things could be torn down for more parking.
I don't, that's not in the current plan that I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard the hotel was gonna be renovated, make sure that was the Amtrak station, so that was
Yeah.
Yeah, at our downtown meeting, Representative Bee was there, he's gonna be there, mention that.
Yeah, if you go online, if you just Google, capital commissions, plan, you'll see a few different ones, and one they might be able to do that.
The vote on that will be on that.
The vote is Monday?
Yeah, but it's not at all included in any of the proposals. During the long presentation they made at the Capitol, somebody made like an offhanded comment that was, I think meant as a joke, and maybe somebody picked it up. Yeah. So that's not included in any of the proposals. So.
Information good, I'm glad you brought it up, and good to know the answer. Okay, well, good, glad you guys are here. See you next month at Friday Coffee, have a